well for the most part. Please don't forget, we're in quarter 2. New policy for quarter 2 is if your phone's out, I'm going to take it. Even if I don't see you using it, if your phone is out, I'm going to take it. You should also not have headphones or anything like that in. So please do abide by those rules. So we're going to continue today with logic. We have 4 new vocab words we're going to learn today. We're going to learn negation, contrapositive, inverse, and consequence. Right? That's what we're going to be doing today. What I'd like you to start is assume the following. Assume those 3 statements. Assume P, this is Bell's, page 17. A rhombus is a quadrilateral, and that it has a truth value of truth. Please also assume P. A rhombus, assume Q. Outcast belongs to the genus Canis. That is false. Genus. Canine, yeah, so it's false. And R, the Earth orbits the Sun, and that has a truth value of truth. You write that. I write P, colon, and it runs to the bottom line. True. So that just reminded us that a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. Which we could say this is just thing. Say, if a polygon has 4 sides, then it's a quadrilateral. And that's how we're going to be using this stuff when we get into the triangle, and circle, and quadrilateral geometry that we're going to do. Alright, so having those 4 things down, or pretty much down, what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to do something similar to what you did last night. What I'd like you to do is, I would just like you to please give me the truth value for each one of those conditional statements. So if R, then P, what would the truth value be? If Q, then P, what would the truth value be? What I want you to do, this is your goal for today, as you bring these down, I would just like you to copy down R, and the arrow, and the P, and then tell me what is the truth value. If I would like you. If that's fixed. So like, if I am, or if Jacob is a male, then you're a female. That's true. True. That's a true thing. That's we talked about. Do you think these things are if that's right? And we're going to be working with them today, so hopefully it'll help clear things up. And Brent, you be available to answer questions. Oh, you're helping us. You want me to help? All right. So if R, then P. Go ahead and turn the clickers on. And if R, then P, is that true or false? So if R, then P, is it true or false? It might be helpful to set up your little truth table and see what's going on. If the Earth orbits the Sun, true. Then a rhombus is a quadrilateral, true. So if true, then true. True. Let's move on to number 3 here. If P, then R. It is true or false. If P, then R.
So like right now, you would just fill in, tell what we're talking about. So we gave you the answer to this one. That was true.
P, if P, then R. Yep. You have 5 seconds. Oh, we need to know. It is true, good, because it is true. If true, then true is true. How about for if Q, then Q? If Q, then Q. Tell me what that is. If Q, then Q. And answers that you guys have given so far, this one was true. This one was true. This one was true. We got 5 seconds. True. Good. Because this is if false, then false is true. And do if P, then Q. Go ahead and tell me if P, then Q. If P, then Q. You have 10 seconds. If P is false. We have if true, then false. This is in fact the only one that we found. So good. So hopefully things went well for you considering you become one. We'll take a look at last time. Number 1, squares have 4 sides. Yes, it is a statement. It is true. 2, the moon is made of cheese. Yes, it is a statement. It is a false statement. 3, 12 is divisible by 2. Yes, it is a statement. It is a true statement. 4, mashed potatoes taste good. No, it is an opinion. It has no truth value because opinions have no truth value. Number 5, the chinchillas will live to be 120 years old. Yes, it is a statement. It's a statement. It's a statement. That's all it is. It's just a statement. It is a statement that we do not know the answer to. So we don't know. I mean, if I live to be 120, then it was a true statement. If I don't live to be 120, then it will be a false statement. We don't know yet. So there is allowed to be some ambiguity with a truth value. Is that a bad word to use?
Yeah.
There's allowed to be some. That's such a good word for what it is. It's ambiguity.
No one knows what it means.
Peter? Yes, that is an opinion. Yes, so what you just said is an opinion. I think Mr. Childers is going to live to be 120 years old. That is an opinion because you said I think. That, right there, is a statement. It might be a false statement or a true statement, it's still a statement. It is not an opinion. Yeah. So that has to do with quantum physics. I love the country when they will stop on quantum physics. Yeah. That was it. You just have to, it says it's definitely true or false. We don't know yet. So it depends. Yes, it's a statement, and it depends. Number 6. No, it was not a statement. It was a paradox. We talked about it yesterday in class. That's why I talked about it. Statement can't be true or false. Number 7. False. A rhombus is a quadrilateral that is not a rectangle. 8, true. And I wrote up there are no rectangles that are not quadrants. Number 9, false. A penguin is a bird that does not fly. 10, false. An airplane flies, but it is not a bird. And there are plenty of other birds that do not fly, and there are plenty of other things that fly that are not birds. There are multiple answers to have. Numbers 9 and 10 on your paper, they say 11 and 12. We did that in class. I had to write a true statement and a false statement. So whatever you have there. Number 11, the hypothesis is true, the conclusion is true, and the conditional statement is true. Number 12, the hypothesis is true, the conclusion is false, and the conditional statement is false. Number 13, the hypothesis is false, the conclusion is true, the conditional statement is true. And number 14, the hypothesis is false, the conclusion is false, the conditional statement is true. Any questions on the front page? The word of the street from most geometry students is that this is a fairly straightforward one. All right, so let's do some new vocabulary today. Jeremiah, did you have math class? That's not always true. So it depends. Oh! Bring it back. Not yet. It takes a while to upload. 45 minutes. All right. Consider this statement. If P, then Q. All right. So think about that statement. And just so you know, you should be writing this stuff down. Think so. I'll use a note. Our first new vocabulary is negation. Those are like bonus vocabulary.
I didn't even look it up. I didn't know it.
So negation. Considering a statement, let's consider the statement, the Earth orbits the Sun. So the Earth orbits the Sun. So the statement, the Earth orbits the Sun. And what is the truth value for that particular statement? Sure, yeah. So this is statement P, logical statement P. The Earth orbits the Sun, and it has a truth value of. So what we need to do is we want to negate P. So we use this little squiggly sign, a tilde in Spanish, a little place. So we want to negate P. So to negate P, all we need to do is we just need to make the statement have the opposite truth value. So in this case, the Earth does not orbit the Sun. Right? That is a false statement. The Sun. That's not negating. No. That's going to be a combination of a negation and so what I can tell you on this is keep it simple. If something is the negation, something is not. If something is not the negation, something is. Don't make your life difficult. You're going to walk down treacherous paths if you do. So you can see here, negation. Considering a statement like the Earth orbits the Sun is a true statement, negating it would give it the opposite truth value. So the Earth does not orbit the Sun. The symbol would go in front, like I have it in front of that T right there. So that means negate T. And that's what we did, we negated T. T says the Earth orbits the Sun, so when you negate T, that little symbol in front of the T, the Earth does not orbit the Sun. You have a question? I'll give you a 10-second answer. So what we're going to do, one of the big parts of geometry, is that we're going to write proofs. To be able to write proofs, one of the big things we're going to use to prove certain things is by making a statement. For instance, if two lines intersect and they create 90-degree angles, then they are perpendicular. To prove that that's a theorem about lines, we need to prove that the inverse, converse, and contrapositive are all also true. So that's why I need to have this background.
That was like 43 seconds.
43. So the converse, this is the next thing we're doing. The converse is switching the position of the hypothesis and conclusion of a statement. So our original statement was if P, then Q. So the converse here in blue is going to be if Q, then P. That's the converse. Again, you're writing, I'm not getting this on the page, so it's the next one. The inverse. The inverse is negating the hypothesis and conclusion of a statement. So our original statement was if P, then Q. So if P, then Q. Negating that would be if not P, then not Q. So that is the inverse. And after we get these definitions now, we're going to go through a whole thing. Done. Yeah. No, it's probably easier. It's things called biconditional. It means something, either with the statement and the inverse and counter constant, they all work together. Once you have to start talking about triangles and growth,
That's complicated.
that's what I would say. Yeah, but just the logical way you have to go through. Okay, so that's the inverse. And then the last vocab word is the contrapositive. The contrapositive is negating the hypothesis and the conclusion of the converse. So remember, our converse was if Q, then P. So the contrapositive would be if not Q, then not P.
So what are we going to give it?
No, that's just the most complicated thing we're going to do.
Oh,
As soon as it gets complicated,
got it? And
No, there's a box in the book.
no.
Oh.
And
Sorry, yeah.
doesn't end in
No,
the
it's
new.
still in.
No, that's still there.
Oh, alright.
What's up, Peter? Inverse and counterpositive? Okay. So you can see here, the inverse is negating the hypothesis and conclusion of the statement. So our statement is if P, then Q. So it's if not P, then not Q. The contrapositive is negating the hypothesis and conclusion of the converse. That's why it's in blue, because the converse is in blue. If Q, then P. The contrapositive, if not Q, then not Q. That's the thing. I made a nice little cheat sheet chart that we're going to just go over. This one is the logic table. I would say that this one right here and this one right here will work very nicely together. I also have it on the slide on the next screen. So if you're squinting to see, you'll actually become easy. There you go. The logic table doesn't have the negation part on there because it's not a relationship. It's just a definition. So I would highly recommend having the logic table, and then it'll be a really nice reference for something to. Right. I copy one of those two things down, yes. Either this thing, the logic table, or what's on the slide, or the same thing. I'm just going to move past this slide, so I need that logic table so we can continue. What's negation?
Yeah.
That was our first definition, and all it says is that consider a statement, negate it into the opposite true value. That's why there's a for in between, and not a arrow. What is it? No, it means negate.
So he is not available. He said if it is something, then the negation will be not. If it's not something, the negation will be it is. Which one it is, there is something.
There's a reason in Jeremiah that you learn the big fancy terms because they're much more accurate. Jacob, unfortunately, I never said I was going to make a class easy. So what it is easy? My guess is, based on the chatter, Jacob, do you have one of those tables written down? Are you done? Oh, the note taker's done? She's the standard bearer for our speed. She's done, we gotta move on. It'll be up there. It's the same thing. Alright, let's use these two statements, and these are from Bellwood. Alright, so P, a Robin, is a part of us. Can someone please remind us, the truth value for that was what? Right? The truth value for P was what? The truth value for Q was what? Yes. Oh, great.
is qualified. And Q. How's that? Belong to the general. Yeah. You guys believe that this one is true? This one was. So I like to use that. And I like to negate both P. Actually, no, I agree. I want you to write a conditional statement. I want you to write a conditional statement. If P, then Q. Go ahead and write that. If P, then so if P then Q, my conditional statement is going to be what? Anna. Perfect. And a rhombus is a quadrilateral, and house cats belong to the genus of P. That's our conditional statement. If that's what we're going to start. So Jacob, what did you put?
Nothing.
Wrong.
I put wrong.
You were right. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to negate both P. I'd like you to negate Q. Go ahead and write the negation for P and Q. So you're just writing the negation. I'm going to take attendance real quick. Where's me up today?
Thursday morning.
We're all tired. So when we negate P, what do we get? When we negate P, what do we get? Don't watch how far this is.
I'm not saying rhombus is not.
Yeah, a rhombus is not a quadrilateral. It's amazing. At the start of the day, I can not spell quadrilateral. And when we negate Q, what do we get? Rihanna, when we negate Q, what do we get? You're not sure how to do it?
Sure.
This is exactly it. Yeah. Like I said, make it easy. House cats do not belong to the genus Kin. The truth value for the negation of P is what? Keegan. What is the truth value for the negation of P? A rhombus is not a quadrilateral. False. Right? Because negation produces the opposite truth value. So if the statement was true, the negation is false. And likewise, if the statement was false, the negation would be true. Okay, on looking at statements and getting negations, what questions do we have here? How do we write negation? What's the rule? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't, yeah, put not, pretty much put not. Put not makes your life easy. Alright? Figure out a way to get not shoved in there, and it'll make your life much easier. Doesn't make it. Right? That's bad grammar. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to write the converse. So this is what having that little logic table is helpful. So the converse, what does it say over there? It says if Q then P. Well, over here I have Q and P, so I should be able to write it. So I'd like you to please write the converse. So the converse, we take the original statement and we change, we switch spots for the hypothesis and the conclusion. So our original statement was if a rhombus is a quadrilateral, then house cats belong to C and K. So the converse would be what? Give that what would be converse. Correct. That is the converse. That is Have you know the converse? Go ahead and write the inverse. Once again, using your logic table for reference. The inverse says we have a statement, if P then Q. The inverse of that statement is if not P then not Q. Once again, we already negated over here, so this use what we have to build your inverse. Once again, our original statement was if P then Q. So the inverse is going to be if not P, then not Q. So what is the inverse? Jason, what is the inverse? You right there. Correct. A rhombus is not a quadrilateral. Then house cats do not belong to the genus P. Yes, if you read the last one, I'd like you to please write the contrapositive. Again, the contrapositive says if we have a statement, if P then Q, the contrapositive says if not Q, then not P. So we negate the concept. We negate the concept. All right. I want to save the comment, and then I want to use my comment.
Alright, so the contrapositive ends up being what? That's going to be contrapositive. Perfect. Exactly right. If house cats do not belong to the genus Canis, a rhombus is not a quadrilateral. What's up? And from what Jacob has said, what I'd like you to do is please look at the statement, the inverse, the positive, and the contrapositive. I want to do tell me the truth value for each one. So go ahead and take a minute or so, finish copying down the contrapositive, and I'm going to ask you to click in hand. Go ahead and jot down next to it. What is the value, the truth value of those conditional statements? Don't forget, I have my little cheat sheets up there. I hope you have your little cheat sheets in your notes somewhere. One thing I would highly consider doing is memorizing those two tables, and it'll make your life much easier, because you don't want to have to build the converse every time, or the inverse every time, and try to remember which one is which. That was one of the places I think that we struggled a little bit. Okay, so look at the original thing. Look at the original thing. Well, either around the quadrilateral. Okay, so that's true. You have cast line with the pin. No, false. Okay. So if true, then false. Okay. If true, then false. If true, then false. If false, I will see the other three. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. Thank you. Think about our original conditional statement. If P, then P. If a rhombus is a quadrilateral that house cats belong to the genus Canis, you have 10 seconds. I'd like you to tell me is that true or false. So click in. Click in on the clicker. Go ahead and click in. The original one, right here. The rhombus is a quadrilateral that house cats belong to the genus Canis. You did? Really? That's a nice thing. You have 4 with it. Okay. Other one? We have most people thinking that it's false. So let's look at that. Oh, rebel. Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh. It was under attack. There you go. Alright, if a rhombus is a quadrilateral, the hypothesis is true. The conclusion is false. If true, then false, it's false. Let's take a look at the converse. Please go ahead and click in your answer for the converse. You have 10 seconds. Is the converse true or false? If house cats belong to the genus Canis, then a rhombus is a quadrilateral. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. True. Let's take a look at this. The hypothesis is false. The conclusion is true. If false, then true. It's true. How about the inverse? Go ahead and click your answer. You have 10 seconds. Okay, Rhombus is not a quadrilateral. The house cats do not belong to the genus. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mostly true. If a rhombus is not a quadrilateral, that's false. Then house cats do not belong to the genus Canis, that's true. If false, then true, true. And the last one, the contrapositive. If house cats do not belong to the genus Canis, then a rhombus is not a quadrilateral. Yeah, 10 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come here, man. Well, for the most part. Let's take a look at this. If house cats do not belong to the genus Canis, that is true. Then a rhombus is not a quadrilateral, that's false. If false, or if true, then false, is false. Go ahead and look at what we just did and try to identify a relationship between the different logical arguments that we have with it. So go ahead, take about 20 seconds to look at all the work that we just did and try to determine if there's a relationship between any of these things. J-Rod, will you please tell me the very first thing you said? No, that's not the first thing you said. You looked through your list. And you just read the answer. What was the answer? You read false, true, true, false. So what we have here is we have equivalent statements. We have equivalent statements. So what this tells us that the original conditional statement and the contrapositive are always going to share the same truth value. Same with the inverse and the converse. They're always going to share the same truth value. Jeremiah, that is the actual reason why it's going to work. Just so you know. One thing I would like to show you, looking at this problem right here, we have if P then Q. So if 10 plus 2 equals 12, then 12 minus 10 equals 2. So if you were to negate this, you would write it, if you were to negate P, you would write 10 plus 2 does not equal 12. And if you were going to negate Q, you would write 12 minus 10 is not 2. And that's, I just needed to make sure that you guys knew how to write a negation when it's an equal sign like that. Make sure we're all on the same page. I'd like you to do one last one. Why don't you go ahead, do the inverse. Go ahead and do the inverse. If not P, then not Q. Go ahead and do the inverse. Thanks, but we decided to use it as house. It is the issue, right? That is true.
They're weird.
Okay, what is the inverse? Anna, what's the inverse? We don't know. What's the inverse? Okay, read it. Read the negation of Q, it's right there in front of you. 12 minus 10 is not equal to. Then what? 10 plus 2 is not equal to 12. So if you look here, the conditional statement is true. The converse is true. The inverse is true. And the contrapositive is true. Tomorrow we're going to learn about something called biconditional. That happens to be a biconditional. This evening for homework, when you look at it, you'll notice that there's only do the highlighted one. It's British.
Thanks for taking it up. Oh, don't your phone. Yeah. Yes, you can send them by Wednesday. Yep. Oh, let me be yesterday too. Is this it? Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh yeah. Sure. Five. That's it. Oh wait, no, you need. Come on.